The Incredible Hulk. A hero called the Hulk. My name is Bruce Banner. A few years ago, I was a scientist. I worked on many different experiments. One day, something terrible happened. I was working with gamma radiation. I wanted to see if it could make people stronger. I tested on myself. The radiation worked. I grew strong. Too strong. I turned into a 10-foot monster that people called the Hulk. I couldn't control it, and I hurt many people, even my friend Betty. Because of the gamma radiation, I turned into the Hulk when my heart rate went up. I tried very hard to make sure that never happened. I didn't want to hurt anyone again. I moved to Brazil, where I found work in a factory. I wanted a simple life. When I was not at the factory, I talked to a man named Mr. Blue on the computer. We were working together to find an antidote, something that would stop me from turning into the Hulk. It turned out that the antidote came from a flower called a Cora Blanca that grew only in Brazil. I soon ran out of the antidote, but Mr. Blue had more. I mailed him some of my blood so he would be able to give me more of the antidotes I needed. But before he could help me, Mr. Blue needed to know more about my experiments with gamma radiation. I returned to the United States to find my records, but they had disappeared. I found the only person I could trust, my old friend and fellow scientist, Betty Rose. We had not seen each other in a long time. "Bruce," Betty exclaimed, "I've missed you so much." "I need to know more about my experiments, but I can't find any records of it in the lab," I told Betty. She gave me a data card that contained the information Mr. Blue needed. I would soon be cured. Betty also told me where to find Mr. Blue. "His real name is Samuel Stearns," she said. "He's a scientist in New York City." I had to find Mr. Stearns quickly. Betty walked me to the bus station. Suddenly, soldiers appeared. They wanted to capture me to find out what the gamma radiation had done to my body. But I turned into the Hulk and escaped with Betty. I took Betty to a cave where I knew we would be safe. I was upset that I had turned into the Hulk again. When Betty and I arrived at Dr. Stern's lab in New York City, the doctor put electricity into my body and I turned into the Hulk. Then he gave me the antidote and I turned back into Bruce Banner. "The antidote can't stop the Hulk from coming out," Mr. Stern explained. But he said that the next time I turned into the Hulk, I would still feel like myself inside. This was the best news I had heard in a long while. But as Betty and I were about to leave, soldiers burst into the lab and took us away. We were taken to a helicopter and it was barely in the air when we saw something happening in the city below. One of the soldiers in Dr. Stern's lab had been injected with my blood. Now he was a monster and he was destroying the city. "I have to go back to help," I said. I jumped out of the helicopter. As I fell towards the ground, I became the Hulk again. But this time it was different. I could still feel myself somewhere inside the Hulk. The terrible new creature was called the Abomination. He was also as strong as the Hulk. I did not know if the Hulk could beat the Abomination, but the Hulk was ready to fight hard and not give up. I realized that day that I am not a monster. I can be a hero. I am the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk.